Hello, everyone. My name is Alex, and I'll be the instructor for this DBA Statistics Bootcamp. I just wanted to create a short video to kind of introduce the course and kind of walk you guys through some of the material that we'll be going through. So, just to kind of give a brief summary of the course, it's really just a super condensed version of an undergraduate intro to statistics course. I taught this course at WVU for quite a while, and they asked me to teach it for the DBA. So it's 3 weeks long. There are three homeworks, and that's the only grades in the course. Um, and I'll just kind of walk you through super quickly the website. So when you log into eCampus, you should probably see something that looks like this. You'll notice here that this is the instructor version. So I have a student preview that's on. So this is what you guys would be seeing. What you'll want to do is click on this toolbar if it's not already open. And you should be able to see tools, which is the current page that we're on, which we will not be using, and course content. So this is going to have everything that you're going to need for the course, except for this video, which I have yet to upload, obviously. So here I have the syllabus uploaded. I have the slides for the course. This course is based on a textbook. I don't recommend that you buy the textbook, but if you would like some tips on maybe finding something online, some extra resources, please reach out to me and I can provide links to those or some suggestions on maybe how to purchase that in a cost-effective way. But here are the slides from that textbook. Some of them have been slightly modified over time, but this is pretty much the crux of what you'll be going through. Next is these course videos. This is just old lecture videos that I was giving when I was teaching this course at WVU. So I've just recorded these and I've posted these for you all. Some of them were made for the boot camp. Some of them were made before. It just depends on when they were recorded, but they're all there. They go through these slides. I think there should be at least one video per chapter, if not multiple videos, because they got too long. And then lastly, after some feedback from previous cohorts and from other instructors, some advice I got was to try to strip away some of the math and leave just the intuition. And I'm a pretty firm believer in this as well, just to make sure people can understand what these equations are actually doing. So what I try to do in these notes is just like I said, remove all of the math. And then for the equations that you really need to see, I try to build them through logic from the little bits and pieces up until the actual true formula that you would actually be using. So these notes are actually not super math heavy and a little bit more theoretical, a little bit more intuition based. So the way I would kind of recommend going through this would be to look through those slides and those videos. But then towards the end, if you're still struggling with some of the more mathy parts, maybe check out some of these notes. If you're a math person, this might feel fairly trivial to you, but if you're not a math person, at least the feedback I've gotten in the past that these are pretty helpful. And then finally here we have the homeworks. I have a PDF and a Word document version. I'll talk a little bit more about the homeworks towards the end. But I wanted to just bring up the syllabus, which I have here. So this is what the syllabus looks like. I'm just going to scroll down towards the bottom here. So you can see the homeworks are worth 100 points each, and then you'll be graded based on those. And here's the recommended schedule. So in some ways, you can go as fast or as slow as you'd like, but there are due dates for the homeworks. So for example, homework 1 is due this first Saturday. These dates are wrong. I have to update those. I think the one on eCampus should be updated. But anyway, these are the topic numbers. The topic numbers correspond to the notes that I've written. So they're numbered 1 through 9. And the chapter numbers correspond to the textbooks. I would recommend try to stay ahead of things. So don't, don't fall behind, but also don't speed through this either, because these are foundational parts for pretty much the rest of the program. And understanding basic statistics like a like a t-test or the central limit theorem or a confidence interval. These are really fundamental things that you'll be using for the rest of your life if you continue doing some sort of research or some sort of statistical research in the future. So there are these 3 homeworks. Each one of them is due on a Saturday, except for the last one. That's because the course ends at that point, and I need to get grades in. So if you could, finish that one a little bit earlier, I guess. They are due on Saturdays, but if life happens and things come up, I'm happy to accept them maybe that next day on a Sunday. But I'm trying to give myself enough time to grade and give you guys feedback, as well as get you guys turned around into the next sections of the next chapters. So I also wanted to show you guys some of the actual material. So here's an example of some slides. This is from chapter 8, sampling methods and the central limit theorem. So these are just super standard slides that you would see in a classroom. And you can see some of them have some pretty complicated formulas. But what I've tried to do in my notes is try to break it down with more words and trying to summarize some of this stuff for you guys. The next thing I want to talk about was the homework. These are mostly going to be word problems that are given to you guys so you guys can apply the tools that you're learning in the lectures. I'm not sure if I mentioned this before, but if possible, if you could submit the homework as a Word document, that would be really helpful, because then I can add notes and comments right inside of the document. You will need software for some of the homework, and you're able to use whatever you prefer, whether that be Excel, whether that be R, whether that be Stata, whether that be Python. As techie as you want to get is fine with me. I'm not teaching you anything software related. This is purely a statistics class, but there is a software component. So if you can use Excel, that would be really helpful. If you can use R, that would be really helpful, but you're not limited or you're not encouraged to use any specific thing. That said, I don't want your software. I don't want code that you've written. I don't even want your Excel files. In the homeworks, because these are word problems, I want you to explain to me how you're getting to your answers. When I was in graduate school, when we would take our big comprehensive exams, they would ask us to, next to each line of math, to add in a sentence about why are we dividing here? Why are we adding or subtracting? And why, what are we doing with this equation? And what is the intuition behind that? What's the theoretical explanation for it? Of course, ultimately, you're probably just solving for X in a lot of these cases, but there is a nuanced mathematic and, intuitive meaning to all of this stuff. So if you could come up with that and provide that, that would go way further than providing, oh, I use the mean function or I use the standard deviation function from Excel. And that's pretty much it for homeworks. I don't think that they're too challenging, but they can get tricky, especially if you maybe haven't seen statistics for a long time. But please reach out if there are ever any questions, or you'd like to talk about something in particular. I am planning on trying to do a class meeting maybe on Thursday evenings or Thursday nights. That way we could all get together and maybe chat a little bit. But you guys should really try to work together as a cohort if possible. That's all I have to talk about for the beginning of the course. But like I said before, any questions, please just reach out to me.